Tonight, we're going to be talking about video SEO, traffic generation, getting more views, getting more traffic. Joining us tonight, we have a very special guest. Mr. Bob Heyman is in the house. He coined the term SEO, search engine optimization. All right, here we go. Take it away, Bob. How did SEO come to be?
SEO came to be because I was a music lawyer for formerly famous rock bands, and one of the formerly famous rock bands was Jefferson Starship, which at various times was called Jefferson Airplane and Starship and the Starship, but at this point in their incarnation was called Jefferson Starship. And it was 1994, and they wanted a website because they were a sort of futuristic sci-fi oriented band who had actually popularized the word Starship, and they wanted to be early adopters and have a website. And I knew a web kid, and I got out of the music law business and into the early internet business. And the website we built for them was at the URL jstarship.com, which you would not think was hard to remember. And it had a lot of sci-fi imagery and starfields, and they were proud of it and liked showing it off. And one night they wanted to show it to a promoter in Cleveland after a gig, and God bless them, nobody in the band or their entourage could remember their own URL, which is a testimony to their drug intake. And they looked it up, and this was before Google, so they looked it up on Lycos, which along with Alta Vista were the search engines that there were back then. And they came up on not only on page 2, but the bottom of page 2. And they were ripshit as only a rock band can get, because their point of view was that they were the Jefferson Starship, and anybody looking for Jefferson Starship was looking for them, and why weren't they number one? And they deputized their road manager to call up and yell and scream at me because clearly we had done a shitty job building their website if it came up on the bottom of page 2. And the only way I could get them off the phone was to promise to make them number one. So the next day back at the office, our web builders looked at the websites that ranked ahead of them, and we discovered that the criteria that Lycos was using was how many times the keyword that was being searched for appeared on the home page of the website. And pretty much ever since then, this has been a black hat tactic called keyword stuffing, but back then it was all that mattered. So my webmaster had the bright idea that we'll put Jefferson Starship in tiny black type against one of these black star fields and run it 2 miles down the page so no one could read it except a search engine. And the next time they got indexed, which was within a week, they were number one.
Wow.
And we let them know, and they were as happy as they had been pissed off. And they asked the probably obvious question and said, "This great thing you did for us, making us number one, what do you call it?" And my partner and I looked at each other, and without a better answer, we said, "Well, we call it search engine optimization." And they said, "Well, you should do it for other people." And so we did. And we were the first, to my knowledge, the first search engine optimization agency. And our clients early on for SEO were Intel, SGI, Avon, Bristol Myers, US West, AOL, Sotheby's, Time Warner. And I get asked why we didn't trademark it. And aside from the fact that we had no idea it would catch on in the way it had or did, but my general answer is if we had done that, nobody would have used it, and you would never have heard the term search engine optimization.